A very good afternoon to you out there, and thanks for joining us on this edition of the program, The Ballot, reaching you live on ITV. My name is Francisca, Ogar, and I have with me a co-host in the studio. He is Mr. Dapo Adeyemo.
Well, good afternoon to you, and thanks for having me.
And now, we all know what the ballot does. We are already counting down. In fact, I can smell the elections. They are just by the corner. You're going to wake up one morning, and the 2023 we've been singing about for how many years will be right here with us, you know.
Perhaps the elections, you wake up and then value Nigeria as a new president.
You know, so because of that, on this program, we're going to be keeping you abreast with all the issues as they arise, you know, leading up to the elections. We're going to be bringing you hot and juicy stories. We're going to let you know what's up with the different political parties and their candidates. And of course, we'll be bringing in the relevant stakeholders to speak to us or speak to the issues surrounding the elections. But today we're going to start off first by bringing you some news from the political scene. And I think the first thing we're going to be talking about is coming from the ruling political party, the All Progressive Congress. We just got wind that a top aide, a former top aide of the president, I'm talking about Senator Eta Enang, has been expelled from the APC. And guess what? The accusations, which actually started from his word, is that he had been involved in anti-party activities. If we have to take it verbatim from the way it was put in his letter from his party, they called it indulgence with the PDP. Dapo, what's your definition of indulgence with the PDP?
Well, I think the APC have no right to ever want to use a word like that. Because you look at the APC, you look at the PDP, you look at all the numerous political parties we have in Nigeria, many of them who are political bigwigs, political players, have been moving from one political party to the other. And that you saying having another person, you know, more like a mole, you know, in your political party and then fraternizing with an opposition. We do not have opposition in the Nigerian political system. Everyone who is in the Nigerian polity is always romancing the other political party or persons of interest in any other political party. So using such a word would even sound funny to Nigerians. It's a perception in the Nigerian, space, political space, that during the day you belong to a political party, but late at night you do not belong to any political party, because these people will see themselves late at night, have meetings, talk about how to shape their interest to the detriment of Nigerians, but to the benefit of the very few. So using such a word, I think, well, it is what they're used to. Everyone has crisscrossed.
Well, actually, like they normally say in politics, there's no permanent friend,
no permanent enemy,
only permanent interest.
Yes.
If we have to read a little of what they said, anti-party activities, among others, include his indulgence with the PDP, Akwa Ibom State, and his willful but unlawful disobedience of the directives of the great party. According to them, after a free and fair elections, the primaries that is conducted by the party, he lost without showing a good spirit of sportsmanship. Is that strange in Nigeria? It
shouldn't be strange. We have, a chieftain of the PDP who is the governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, who welcomed another big political party to his state in the person of the Labour Party, and then promised, to give them aids whenever they come to the state to campaign. All right, and the presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, as well, went on to commission some projects in the state. He said any other political party that comes to his state, he's definitely going to be giving them some aid, just to succor their effect while they were in his state. Now, is that not fraternizing with another political party? Look at the American political system. You dare not even see a Republican dangling or smiling with a Republican when you're talking about heated elections. But that's not what we practice out here. We just say, we want to practice the kind of American politics that they practice, but we cannot take it to the later. Has there ever been any political big wings in the Nigerian political system that has not been seen with an opponent, even at the direst minute, the direst hour of elections?
Well, I think it still boils down to the issue of having no clear-cut party ideologies.
True.
So you can easily swing from being a PDP today to a Republican the next day, and probably the other day you're in the Labour Party.
Yes.
But that is not all that's happening in the APC. I think you have some information there concerning another juicy story.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're talking about Najatu Bala Mohammed, who happens to have been with the ACN, with the Bola Tinubu from inception, and then she had moved on, in all of the political scenario in Nigeria. She was very vibrant during the campaign election of Mr. President, up until now, and she's always been in the APC. But now, somewhat of, she had to resign. And the reason why she resigned to her was that she had seen that our principal, former boss, Ahmed Tinubu, BAT, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not fit to run for office. But then another report came immediately where, another spokesperson of the APC came out and said she quickly went to resign because she knew that she was going to be sacked.
Okay, so hold it. Let's give our viewers the screenshots of these discussions. We want them to follow what we are saying. So, Director, can we have the screenshots of the discussion between Hajia and the APC response to her? We have the clips in the folder. Can we have that on air? We want the viewers to see this so it doesn't seem as if that boy here has something against either Hajia or the APC. We are just following the trend. We are just following what's happening. Can we have the screenshots of the messages, what Hajia said about what's happening, the altercation between herself and the APC? Okay, I guess we have it now on screen, where she's actually pointing out her own opinion of why she doesn't think that. Okay, let's just read this. Let's just read this. She said, I followed Buhari and millions of people followed Buhari because they thought he would change Nigeria for the better. But we never gave him an agenda. We never gave him demands. We never had an agreement with him about what we want. So this time around, we have to learn from experience. She's telling Nigerians what to do and why she is.
It's funny. She's talking about President Muhammadu Buhari, but the reason why she resigned was because of the allegations coming from the Bola Ahmed Tinubu camp. And so we must understand, but she was very correct when she made mention and said, when we wanted to vote President Muhammadu Buhari into power, Nigerians wanted change, but we did not define the kind of change that we needed. But here she's saying, well, I have to resign, I have seen enough, I know, and she's resigning because she feels she knows too much. And basically because she made a comment about, Bola Ahmed Tinubu not being too fit to run. But she must have forgotten there are people from different climes of the world who, for example, in Argentina, they've had a vice president who was impaired. We've had monarchs who were impaired, who were not physically fit, but they ran a very good run. They had a very good reign while they were there. So numerous people who can go on and on to make mention. But just in our own case, what you need is the mental capacity, because you become a president and you have people around you who will help you do most of the job.
Lest you be accused again of holding brief for either Hajia or the party. I think we should, in fairness, bring a balance. Let's see what the APC has to say about this resignation. There's a clip there where the APC says that her resignation was received just before she was sacked for incompetence, quarrelsomeness, and after being uncovered to be a mole planted in their winning campaign in order to leak sensitive information to desperate opponents.
I'll tell you this. It will be impossible for the APC camp to say they don't know who Najatu Mohammed is. Now, track back to her days at the prestigious University of ABU Zaria. All right, she happened to be the first female SCG president in school. And for you to become an SCG president, you have to be rugged, and you have to know how to talk. You have to know how to manipulate people. She went on after that to become the first female vice president of NANS. That's to tell you she knows how to throw her weight. So when she was talking about following President Muhammadu Buhari and bringing millions of you to his campaign rally, she did that through that medium. That being said, if you think she is a mole because of all the things she's saying, it means that all she had known all along by following the APC from the ACN, they have trouble on their hands. But the truth be told, if you're saying she is a mole, what's happening to Itayanang on the other side as well? It's telling you every politician is a mole. Every politician is a mole. If not, she's been with you. She's been working with you. I will tell you, maybe, just maybe, the reason why she resigned is probably because she's negotiating a particular thing and is not going away. Because this is the time for you to negotiate. Before we go to the polls, I want to know exactly what I'll be getting when I give you my all. It happens. It happens. It's not like, okay, I want to campaign for you, and I know that because you'll be bringing good roads, good infrastructure, electricity, very good health system, and that's the reason why I'm a die-hard fan of Mr. ABC. But in the Nigerian political sector, you saw one person falling down on the stage yesterday, doing all of that. A former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, going down to the shambles just to body shame another person. So this is what they do. That same person who was falling down was from the other party, at Creek Cross at so many times. So in Nigeria, that you might be shocked tomorrow you see her on the campaign trail of the opposition party.
Well, coming on the eve of the elections, yes, I am more worried about the instability. At this point in time, what Nigeria wants is for the political parties to put their acts together.
Yes. To
come forth and tell us what to expect. So far, we've had very few issue-based campaigns.
Yes.
They have had a campaign of, oh, this person did this, that person did that. We've hardly had people telling us clear-cut, come 2023, if I'm voted into power, this is what to expect. This is where I will effect my own changes and, you know. Those are the kind of things we hope to begin to hear, not identification of moles.
Truth be told, I wouldn't want to say spokesperson to all this political party, or I'd say the strategist surrounding them. Probably they don't know the right words to use. And this is the fear. The fear is that when a politician in Nigeria tells you, oh, this is exactly how I am going to tackle insecurity, you have given out the very valuable information, and the opposition party would write that down word for word and begin to replace those words with another word, saying the same thing the way you have said it, but sounding in a different manner. And that is probably the reason why many of them have been dodging the stories, just telling you we know the problem of Nigeria, we know how to go about it without talking about it. That being said, you heard from another political party, presidential flag bearer of the SDP, talking about the Chatham House this morning, saying, I wouldn't go to the Chatham House. Why don't you want to go to the Chatham House? I said, why should we all, rush from Nigeria and go to the Chatham House in London? Well, a lot of people want to argue. You want bilateral trades with international organizations. You want countries to have business ties with you. You want to start long-term deals with multinationals. If you don't go to places like the Chatham House, how do you get heard globally? And he's been here in Nigeria. He's been on Arise. He's been on sister media houses. He's been talking on different radio stations. But how many people do you reach out to? So well, that is the
truth. That point. Let's ask ourselves this.
Yes.
The West equally has business ties with us.
Yes.
They equally come here for one thing or the other.
Yes.
Have we seen them come over to us to talk on our own spaces equally?
Yes, they do.
To canvass votes. Do we have a replica of the Chatham House here, and is it being patronized?
I'll tell you this. The NIIA, that is the Nigerian Institute of what have you, is on the Victoria Island in Lagos. It was created, I think it was in 1961. Precisely 1961 it was established. It was supposed to be the Nigerian Chatham House. But you have that. How many Nigerians know that you have an institute where people can come to tell you about their agenda, tell you about their ideas? What has even the NIIA done during this election period to say, oh, you are all persons who want to vie for the #1 position of the office, maybe a governor or a senator or anybody. Come to our own Chatham House. Tell Nigerians what you want to do. Do you even know the functionality of the NIIA? So you do not blame the Chatham House, which has been consistent, had the likes of Reagan, Reagan. You had the Margaret Thatchers, had the Mahatma Gandhi come over to talk about policies. But then it is because it is an international forum, and you can't take that away from it. Now, if Nigeria is a booming economy, if we have structures that are working, if we become the giant of Africa that we say we are, they would come to Nigeria to study how INEC had gotten the elections right. by giving Nigerians credible elections. If we have revamped our refineries, they would come to our Nigerian Chatham House to ask questions, to tell us and ask how we have made it work. But nothing is working. Who wants to come to a war zone?
Okay, so I would like to disagree with you. There are a few things that are working. It's just that we want more things to work. That would be a debate for another day. But just before, because our time is fast spent, can we have a clip from the Senate yesterday where there were debates about extension of the period for phasing out the old Naira notes? This is essentially because from the beginning of this change of notes, we've had worries that this is geared or targeted at some political parties, making it difficult for them to spend for their campaigns, which, of course, there's no campaign without money. Can we have a clip from the Senate yesterday so that we quickly look at how, you know, this might affect the elections?
Go beyond the technicalities and the statistics being churned out by CBN and appeal to the central bank governor to have an extension. It's not because the whole essence, if we are focusing on just putting the deadline, is that we are now saying, yes, we want to be punitive, just like he said when he announced the policy. We are trying to catch people who have hoarded money. I can assure you, Mr. President, anybody that had 10 billion Naira in cash as at that point in time has changed it. The people that, when we see it happening every day, people that have taken this money, they change it to dollars. One person changed 109 billion Naira that he sold to dollars. That's what's pushing up the exchange rate. So it's forget catching any big man. The problem is with the smallholder, with our small traders, who now, because what he's going to do is...
The CBN is insisting on terminating the use of old Naira notes by the end of this month, which is barely a week away. Observes,
Mr. President, let me say to you, in my constituency, especially in my local government, 90% of the people have not seen the new notes at all. They have not had a glimpse of the new notes. It is not because they don't go to banks. It is because our banks are only able to give us old notes. And so what do? They were in panic just 2 days ago, saying everything would expire. But what do they have? Small money, trade money. That's all they have. But they cannot also change it. The POS, the ATM machines work sparingly. And the people cannot even load only the new notes. They make sure they merge it with the old notes. So how will they manage? How are the ordinary people going to manage?
Okay, so it's the ballot on ITV, and I'm throwing this back to Dakpo. Dakpo, elections, people need money to shop, to stock, to travel, to do stuff that will enable them be part of the elections. With this hiccup about the new Naira notes, what impact do you see it having on the elections?
Well, first of all, let's talk about transportation. People need physical cash to move from one place to the other. Yes, you could do mobile transaction and all of that. We didn't know the disadvantages and challenges we have doing online transactions in Nigeria. All right, you could go into the market and say, I want to buy bread. I'll do your transfer of 1,000 Naira. If that seller doesn't get that money, receive that alert promptly, that person won't allow you to take that bread out of the place. Then
okay, just hold it here.
Yes.
Can vote buying be done electronically? Because I think the essence of all this money thing is to stop vote buying. Can vote buying be done electronically?
If you want to buy a vote, you need physical cash. And there are back channels that people use to get this cash. Now, if the CBN governor had said the reason why we redesigned the Naira was for us to be able to bring back all those cash that people had owed. I'll give you an instance. Walk into a bank, and then you see from about 5 o'clock when you expect the bank to close. So if you remain in the bank till about 5 o'clock, they close the door, nobody comes in. But yet, people come through the back door, bring in, I have 10 billion in my house, and I bring that 10 billion back to the bank, old Naira note. Because I know the bank has new Naira notes, worth more than 10 billion, and I take it back there, I get my 10 billion. If that money was for electioneering, all you need to do is do me the transfer. I will talk to the manager of the bank and get the money. This is what Nigerians are doing. It is not hidden. So it will in no way affect the vote buying. Electronically, it is traceable. That's not how they roll. Politicians don't work that way. They need that physical cash, because if you say you want to do me a transfer because you want to buy my vote, for those who are stupidly willingly to sell their vote, you know, nobody trusts anybody in Nigeria. So when you say, I'll do you a transfer, then you go ahead and you do the transfer. If I don't see the transfer, I will not vote. If I even saw the transfer, I will tell you I didn't see it. I will tell you that is my own cup of cake or my own little share of the elections.
Of the national
of the party's cake. And then I will go ahead and go and vote for. So that is why they deal in physical cash. I've covered elections where people want to buy vote. When they want to buy, they come and tell you, oh, you know what you need to do? Take 50% of this. When you finish voting, come back. Show me evidence and I'll give you that. So it doesn't in any way affect the election.
Okay, so I just think, like some other people have been voicing, as we've heard the senators there, my opinion is not needed here, but I just hope that some way, somehow we'll find middle ground, and that this new note exchange thing will not stall elections, you know, not by way of vote buying. I actually pray that it hinders vote buying.
Yes.
But I hope that in other areas it allows us to have a smooth election.
But to tell you, it's not even just as that senator had said, you know, it's not about just the elections. People do not have access to this money. Some people have not seen it. I had a story this morning on radio, you know, in a place in Edo State where they've completely refused the old Naira note because of the fear of ordering it till the deadline, and then it becomes not a legal tender. And then they do not have the new Naira note to give to the customers who wants to use the ATM, who wants to use the POS. So it's a problem. I haven't seen the 1,000 Naira note, and I've been spending money. You still go out and people still give you old Naira notes.
I will give you after the elections, even though I'm not contesting. So it's not like you're buying your votes.
I'm not selling my votes.
So on this note, we'll have to say thank you for having stayed with us. It's been a very lively discussion in the house, and
Thank you for having me.
I must thank you for having spent time with us. Of course, next week we're going to be back with more interesting, more juicy, and together let's do the countdown to the elections. Therefore, from you.
Well, don't sell your votes. If you have a PVC, it should be the most guided material you have on you right now. That's your weapon. That's all you need to live for. 4 years is not a joke. Listen to people who are telling you things that are credible, things you want to hear, not people sugarcoating everything that they say. Nigeria belongs to everybody. There is no marginalization all across Nigeria. The Southeast, I promise you, election will hold. INEC is doing their best. The federal government is doing their best. You need to do your best by going out to vote.
All right. On that note, we'll say thank you. Let's do this again, same time next week, same station. My name remains Francisca Ogar. It's been the Ballot on ITV. Bye for now.